Hello there everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a video that I guess I didn't really expect to make, but I just kind of felt in the mood to actually discuss just briefly, you know me, but briefly a little bit about the songs from the Maltese national final that we have this year, which is of course happening so early on. I'm sure you've all already caught up with all of the 36 songs that they had to offer. They're gonna pick 12 finalists. I don't know when, I don't know how, and I don't know. I just don't know anything, I guess. But anyway, today I just felt like doing a quick little video, just out of the blue, discussing the 12 songs that I think would make a pretty good final for Malta. And I just discussed these songs a little bit. If you want more thorough thoughts of mine on these songs, there are plenty of things that I've said about all of them on my channel. You can go back and watch where I've done reactions and reviews to these songs. And if you're interested to hear my more thorough thoughts on any of them, you can go back, because today I'm going to try and be as brief as I possibly can about all of these songs. I'll probably fail and this video will end up being an hour long, but I hope not. But I'm going to try my best to just be concise, just get my thoughts out there and share the 12 songs that I think would make a really good final for Malta. Of course, these aren't really like the picks that I feel like, oh, if these 12 aren't the ones, then I will be disappointed. Absolutely not. These are just 12 songs that I think would make a pretty good final, and I will tell you why in today's video. As you can see on this side of the screen, this side, there are 12 slots right there. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And I'm gonna reveal them one by one, random order, truly. And I'm just gonna mention why I think it should be in the final. Whether or not I like the song doesn't really matter here. I just feel like these are all songs that I think could be decent picks for Malta, and I think they would make a good final. Not necessarily my favorite songs, but my favorite songs are in here, of course, because I wouldn't just exclude them. Anyway, it's all blank at the moment, and I'm gonna start by revealing the first one, and surprise, surprise, I put Banana in here. This is the song that I think Malta will end up sending. It just feels like the complete package, it feels like the purpose is there, it goes all out, doesn't hold back, it's there for entertainment, it feels like a song that will just succeed within its competition, I'd say. Whether or not it succeeded at Eurovision, completely different thing, but this stands out just enough in MESC and the whole selection that I think that it's definitely among the stronger efforts. I think that if it's not in the final, that would be very odd. I feel like it's something that sticks out so much from the competition and still professionally made. There's a purpose to the performance, and it's a catchy song altogether with a tacky, I was about to say unique approach, I don't know about that, but in the context of this competition, it definitely stands out, and it's a song that I would probably miss if it wasn't in the final. I think it deserves to be there, it should be there, just for the complete entertainment factor. Not necessarily the song that I would like Malta to pick, but I think a final without Banana would be a bit unfortunate, so I put that one in there. The next one I will put in here is the song Better Off Alone. I've forgotten the artist, I'm terribly sorry, I just got the titles here. But Better Off Alone has a strong hook, decent vocal performance up until like the final part of the song, where I think it goes a little bit too over the top and kind of loses me. The concept of the song feels strong, it feels rather polished, needs a little bit of revamping in the execution and production quality, but I feel like the concept is absolutely there. Melodically it's decent. Instrumental sounds promising enough as well, and I think that it's just a strong pop song with actual emotional substance behind it and also a little bit of drive to it. So I think this one is quite promising. I would like to see Better Off Alone make the final as well. Song number 3 that I've added is Mara. This is absolutely one of the standouts, I think. This one is absolutely up there in my opinion. It's got a concept for a performance already that is very convincing, I'd say, especially due to like how the budget and circumstances are in this national final at the moment that we've seen. I think this one is very promising. It has a very catchy hook, it has a strong performer, decent vocals, and an instrumental that is both dynamic and quite poignant in all honesty. Production quality sounds decent as well. I think this one is really kind of a complete package, and I would be very disappointed if this one doesn't make the final. I would go as far as to say that I want it to be a top 3 contender in this national final. That is somewhere where I would place it. If this one wins, I'd be satisfied with that. I'll be straight up with that. Mara is a song that absolutely should be in the final, in my opinion. Song number 4 that I put in here is Karma. One of the best vocal performances in the selection. It's a chorus that actually stuck in my head a little bit. I think the melody has a rhythmic intonation, like both a rhythmic and a melodic intonation that's actually quite memorable, even though the song as a whole kind of fades by a little bit for me. But when I think back to the chorus every time, I feel like there's something within it that just has this, not really a pedestrian drive, more of like a, not a hard-hitting drive either, but it's like a nice groove type of drive to it, with the rhythmic inputs really being quite strong within the song, especially due to the chorus. And the vocal performance kind of just elevates it a little bit further, feels professionally thought out and executed as well. I think Karma is absolutely a song that should be in the final. Not necessarily, wouldn't probably be thrilled if it won. I think it would get a little bit lost in Eurovision, but for the national final, I think it's absolutely final worthy, and I could see it doing quite well there as well. Song number 5 that I've added in here is Tell Me That It's Over. This is another one of my actual personal favorites, I would say. Very strong melodic writing in this one. I feel the intensity in the song. I feel like there's an emotional story behind it. It's passionately performed. I'm very intrigued by that. I think the instrumentation is actually very strong, and of course it needs a little bit of polishing in terms of the production side of things, but melodically I'm very fond of it. I think she's a wonderful singer that really works for the song, and I feel the emotion behind it. So I think Tell Me That It's Over should be one of the top contenders in this selection. I would be thrilled if it wins. I would be very surprised if it wins as well. I don't think it's got enough of a buzz around it to go all the way, but I feel like it's a very promising effort, and could probably rack up some jury points if that is on the cards in the final. I don't know if it is, but I feel like it's a very polished package. Needs a little bit of just a boost in the production department, but it's a song that I very much enjoy listening to, I'd say. Tell Me That It's Over, I would be very, very sad if this one doesn't make the final. I think it absolutely needs a spot in there. Song number 6 is Bellus, which I finally learned how to pronounce, I guess. Stands out. It has character, it has charm, it's fun and enjoyable, and you can just tag along with it really easily. It's catchy, it's engaging, has energy behind it, and as I said, a lot of character. I think it stands out. It needs to be in the final to just kind of break up everything else that's in there. It sounds like nothing else from this year, and it actually has a lot of charm, which I think is its main selling point. Bellus should be in the final. If it's a winner, I'm not sure, but it's very charming, and I want it in the final, of course. Song number 7, I put There's Only Flowers in here. There are a few songs in this one which could easily be exchangeable for other songs. I think this one is one of them, because we already have Tell Me That It's Over, which I think is the superior female sung ballad in the selection. But There's Only Flowers has emotion behind it. It's gripping. I think it's overdone way too much towards the end of the song, and they need to tone that down. They also need a little bit of a rewrite and rearrangement in actually making it really hit on an emotional level. But I feel like there's enough within the concept of this song to make it very, very impressive, and I just like them to kind of go through that, really structure it out, and actually polish it all together. And then I think it could be a very strong package as well. Feels like the performance is almost there. It becomes a bit screechy towards the end, and I don't really connect with that. But there is an emotional rawness to the song as a whole, which I think you can actually build on. And I'd be intrigued to see a polished version of this song, and I would kind of like to see it in the final. This is, however, one of the songs which I could do without, and you could throw in a different song here, because I do think, as I said, that Tell Me That It's Over is the superior song within its genre. But I wouldn't mind having 2 songs within that genre in the final. And yeah, that's why I picked There's Only Flowers in here. I also picked Puppet in here. Puppet is another one of these that I find it very enjoyable, but it's possibly not all the way there yet. It could absolutely do with some polishing, this one as well. I feel like the production is a bit soft. It doesn't quite have enough of a drive, of an intensity within the instrumental, and it feels maybe a little bit forced, the actual delivery of it, mainly the chorus as well. Structure could use a little bit of work, improve the flow, and really just boost the drive throughout the song. I need more energy within the actual flow of the song. The performance is ambitious, probably needs a little bit of tuning to make it really click, but I see the potential in this one as well, and that's why I'd like to see it in the final. It's not the song that I'm rooting for within the final, but I would be not pleasantly surprised, but I would be happy to see it go through if that's the case. So yeah, Puppet is in the final for me as well here. We got 4 songs left. The first of them will be Cloudmaker. This is another one that I'm absolutely rooting for. I think this is another one of these that you needed in the final because of the variation that you create within the final like this. It's a song that relies on intimacy and a restrained delivery, and I'm very fond of that. I think they look fantastic. They have this image and aura around them to really connect with an audience, and that goes hand in hand with the type of song that it is. It relies a lot of ambience. It relies on ambience a lot. Nice guitar work throughout, very effectively arranged altogether, and I like songs that really rely on this minimalism that this one does quite effectively. It goes all out on minimalism, and that is admirable, I'd say. Probably needs a little bit of a boost in terms of the rhythm department, because it's lacking a little bit there, and maybe to really connect with a general audience as well, you need to just make it slightly more accessible, without making it lose its magic, though. It could be tricky, but Cloudmaker is probably the song that I'm rooting for the most. I'm not sure, I haven't thought that far, but this is another top 3 contender for me for sure. I love Cloudmaker. I'm gonna start listening to it a lot when it drops on Spotify. I hope that happens. Song number 10 is Bellus. This one, I'm very skeptical if it actually makes the final, but nothing would make me happier, truly. I think this one is needed in the final. It's probably the strongest vocal performance of the selection, I'd say. You could argue with different genres and stuff, but a male ballad, I know Karma is very impressively sung as well, but Bellus has character in the vocal delivery, I think. It's a very full voice that the singer has. I'm terribly sorry about the names, but I don't know. But it's a very full voice that he has, and very characteristic as well, which adds a lot of identity to this song, I'd say. I think melodically it's strong. It might be a little bit unmemorable, but the overall flow and overarching structure of the song, I feel, really clicks. It's very competently written and arranged, and strong production at the moment as well. It's very reverb heavy in the vocal department, but I think that works in its favor as well. Very fond of this one, a very nice listening experience, very pleasant, and I would be thrilled if this one makes it through. I'm not sure if it's the right choice for Eurovision. Someone else can debate about that, but I think the final needs this song, and I would be a little bit disappointed if it doesn't make it, but I'm prepared for it as well. The 11th song that I threw in here is called Featherlight, and Featherlight stands out as well. Like, I've kind of arranged this final to just kind of make sure that there's a little bit of everything in there and make it a really varied and also enjoyable final. And I think Featherlight has more or less the most interesting instrumentation, perhaps. Very reliant on synth work, which is quite enjoyable. I do like the whole electronica vibe of the song. Even though it's not polished perfectly within the production and the actual flow of it, I feel like the characteristic of the song is absolutely something that should be highlighted, and I'm quite fond of the performance to it as well. I think the vocal performance is strong. Melodically, it's not something that has stuck in here with me, but the actual concept and atmosphere of the song is absolutely something that I think we need in the final. So I'd love to see Featherlight in there as well. And the final song that I'd throw in here is absolutely Loop, probably the catchiest song of the whole selection. Could it be? I think Mara might be. Yeah, it's between Mara and Loop, and they're kind of, I guess, battling within the same kind of what do you call, audience. Like it's the same people will probably vote for these two songs, and they'll be battling it out internally there. But Loop is incredibly catchy, has, as well as Mara, a very ambitious performance already with choreography and such. Vocally, it's rather strong already. The production quality actually sounds rather strong for being this selection. I think that it's polished. I think it also has a nice energy to the song throughout. I think it builds very effectively. It has a good flow to the structure. And as I said, probably the most catchy song of the year. I couldn't have a final without Loop. We gotta make it go through there. Not sure if it's gonna be the song for Eurovision, but I think it should be in the final for sure. It would make my final at least. Along with all of the other songs you can see here. Those 12 are the ones that I've picked, and if you disagree with them, that's completely fine. Let me know which 12 songs you're rooting for to be in the final. I think this would make a pretty decent final, but that's because I picked it, of course. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you think this is a terrible final lineup, and you would be so upset with seeing it, and that's completely fine. Let me know. Let me know what you would switch out, and yeah, if you agree with it as well, let me know that as well. If you think it's a good lineup and you would be happy to see this one, I'd be interested to read all of your opinions. Thank you so much for joining me for this. Actually, turned out to be a shorter video than usual. I guess I'm on 18 minutes now, so or something around there. It's been fun though putting this together, and I do hope that I haven't upset you with any of my takes. If I have, I'm sorry, but I mean, we can't all agree every time. So do share what you think, and thank you so much for watching with me. May the best song win over in Malta. If I can just go through my list here of the 12 songs that I've picked, I think the 3 that I think it should be between in this final, if we take this as the final lineup, I'd like to see Mara, Tell Me That It's Over, and Cloudmaker battle it out for the win. And then you can pick the winner out of those. Thank you so much for joining me today, and have a great one. I will see you soon again. Bye bye.